Athletes, welcome back. You need to get in that 20 item or less aisle because we got a 20-minute AMRAP coming your way. We got Hayden, we got Faith. It's the grocery games workout. We got running, we got sit-ups, we got push-ups, we got dumbbell floor press. So we got that warm-up coming your way so that we can get that squeaky wheel on the cart working really well and get you ready for this workout. Get ready, get set, warm-up is next. Athletes, your warm-up is starting in 10 seconds, so let's go ahead and lay down on the floor. We're gonna be going through some snow angels first in order to get our shoulders warmed up. And go, so those hands start on your hips behind your back, and then you rotate out, touching overhead, making sure that we are not touching the ground as we pass through. This is a fantastic piece to do for shoulder mobility because it does get you through that wide range of motion and gets into the corners of your shoulders that you normally don't hit, especially if you're at a desk job and you're always in this position. We're gonna go ahead and transition now, and we are going into sit-ups. So if you've got an ab mat, you can use your ab mat during this time. I'm gonna have Faith make sure that dumbbell's not in your way just so you don't sit back on that. And we're gonna go ahead and just sit back, touch the ground behind our head, and then throw those hands as we sit up, touching your toes. Now, touching your toes is just the cue that I give you because the full range of motion is getting our shoulders past our hip crease. If Hayden tries to pull a sneaky on us and he brings his feet closer to his body, so bring those closer and show me bad reps. Don't show me good reps, show me bad reps, like that. So this does not count. Everybody knows what you're doing. You're not pulling a fast one on us, so you get yourself all the way up and do the sit-up completely. If you don't have an ab mat at home, you can take a towel, roll it up, and put it underneath your low back in order to take the place of that ab mat, which encourages us to get to full extension. Next, what we're gonna do is we're going into heel-toe rocks. So we're gonna go ahead and stand up. With this one, we are going back onto our heels, up onto our toes, and we're getting ourselves ready to run with that shopping cart because we gotta get running warmed up in our ankles, calves, and even our upper body. When we've got those arms going, I want you to think about keeping yourself relaxed as we get onto that runner in just a moment. Next, we are gonna go into bunny hops. So now, you're gonna go single unders without the jump. You don't have to do bunny hands. No bunny hands. That's not a requirement. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I just want you to get loose now. Get those shoulders loosened up. This is where I need your upper body loose for when we're doing that run. Do not let your shoulders creep up towards your ears and relax. Now let's make our way to our runners. So with this, we always base our timings, and don't laugh at me if you're not a good runner, but we base our timings off an 8-minute mile pace. I'm gonna have our athletes start walking right now. Now an 8-minute mile pace for a 400 meter means that you would be running for 2 minutes. So if you don't have a runner, if you have a machine, you can stay on that machine for 2 minutes. If you've got a place you can run outside, you can run out for a minute, mark where you hit, and then come back, and that would be your 200 meter pace, 400 meter mark for that workout. And then lastly, what we're gonna have Faith do today is do some interval style. So you're gonna see her walk for 30 seconds and then run for 30 seconds every round that we go through. She'll do that twice. Let's go ahead and make our way back to the floor, and we're gonna go into our hand release push-ups, and we're gonna go into our dumbbell floor press. I'm not speeding this warm-up up because I wanna make sure that I get you guys warmed up completely. Camera guy. I'm worried about the people at home. I want no injuries. So we're gonna go through, you see Hayden going through his hand release push-ups, making sure those hands come completely off the floor before he presses back up. We've got Faith going through her dumbbell floor press. With this, your elbows will touch the floor before your dumbbells touch your chest. Do not do anything weird to try to get those dumbbells to your chest. Full range of motion is elbows to the floor and back to full extension. Go ahead and rest. I want you guys to get back to your sit-ups for me, and we're gonna go through 10 sit-ups fast. So you got 10 reps here. You're gonna throw those arms, making sure you're using the momentum from your upper body to assist you in sitting up, and go. We're getting those shoulders past your hip crease. Now I shouldn't tell you this because this is like a cheat code for sit-ups, but when you're going through, if you think about taking your hands and throwing them down your body, that's gonna help you be more efficient going through that sit-up. If you do a big wide throw up and over, it slows you down there. And I'm a notoriously slow sitter-upper, so I found this, and now everybody's gonna beat me in sit-up workouts again, but it's like, I'm looking out for you guys. Go ahead and stand up. We're going back into our heel-toe rocks. So onto your heels, onto your toes, rock back and forth. We are going to move into bunny hops very quickly in 3, 2, 1, and fast. I need faster bunnies. I need faster bunnies. I need faster bunnies. The fastest bunnies I've seen. And now we make our way back to the runners. So go ahead and head back And now is the time that you can pick yourself up into a jog or a run. Now, keeping in mind, I'm gonna ask you to run a mile. So whatever your mile pace is what we're thinking about trying to maintain when we get on the runners here. Like I said, Hayden is gonna run for the entirety of it. If he didn't know that before, now he knows he's running the whole time. We've got Faith alternating between a walk and a run. She's gonna pick her timings, whether she wants to go 30 seconds back and forth, 15 seconds back and forth. I want you guys customizing so we can keep moving, but keep a little bit of running in there. Go ahead and relax. And that is it. Clip your coupons because we got the workout coming your way. Turn that cell phone on silent, grab your water. We are ready to work out with you right now. Athletes, your workout is here. We've got 10 seconds on the clock. We are going to hand release push-ups and dumbbell floor press starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Hayden's giving me competition rules, like starting in a standing position. Man, somebody's trying to impress me. When we're going through this workout, we got 20 minutes today. Now, I know 20 minutes seems like a really long time, but you will be surprised how quickly this time goes by. I know you don't believe me, but in 20 minutes, you will believe me. We're making sure that when we're going through this, we're picking a pace that if I asked you to go for around 30 minutes through this cycle, that's what I want you to have in mind. I would like you to be able to keep your time splits on your rounds and try to maintain that throughout each of these rounds that we do. Now, Hayden did it, and I didn't even have to ask him to do it, but he already took a rest on his push-ups. When you look at this workout, it's gonna be very, very tempting to try to go big sets. So you're gonna be like 20, 30, 400, or 400. I can do this unbroken. I know you can. I believe in you. I know that if I asked you to, you would give me unbroken sets, but I don't want unbroken sets today. I want you to go through this with strategically placed rests depending on your fitness level so that we can keep moving at a steady pace. So you think about doing a certain number of reps. When we look at push-ups or we look at dumbbell floor press, that's a movement we can burn out on very quickly. So we think about doing 5 quick reps, then we rest, shake our arms out, and get back into it. You'll be surprised that sit-ups will even start to get very, very difficult because if you think about this, and I always think about this in terms of timing, we're looking at roughly 5-minute round times. So in 20 minutes, that means that we could potentially get 4 rounds. That means that you could be doing 120 sit-ups. Now, whoever laughed at home, I know you can do 120 sit-ups. So let's be a little bit more positive. But I know that with this workout, doing workouts in similar structure to this, we really need to think about gaming our intensity so that we start out at that moderate pace. And if we feel like we can push the pace when we're getting into the last 5 minutes of this workout, that's when we will do it. Do not start out too hot. If you needed a temperature on your oven, we're looking at like we're preheating the oven right now. And we're not even baking anything that has to be like really hot. We're doing low and slow. So we're like pre-baked cookies, 350, it's the automatic setting. So some of those cookies that have the peanut butter and the little Reese's pieces in it, yeah, wonderful. So anyways, back to the workout. So we can get those cookies after this because you never have to earn the stuff that you eat. So treat yourself, just in moderation, like everything else in your life. So we got Hayden on to the runner right now, and with this, he's keeping it at a nice, even pace. I'd mentioned an 8-minute mile earlier. I want you to keep it at your mile pace. So whatever your mile pace, that is kind of the intensity that we're looking for. Now, if you hate running and you're like, why did I do today's workout? I'm so happy that you did because you're gonna be a little bit better at running by the end of this workout. If you do not wanna go the 400 meters because you absolutely detest running, then I'll let you go for 2 minutes. And you can do 2 minutes in any fashion. So we've got Faith starting out with the run. She's going to pick the timings of where she's gonna go back and forth between her walk and her run so that she can maintain that same run speed each time that she gets on there. Now, we are at the 3:20 mark, and both of our athletes have got a pretty good clip here. We're looking at finishing this in about roughly the 4 to 5 minute mark, probably a little bit more on the 4 side than the 5 side, and that is okay. But we need to assess going into round number 2. Did we go too fast? Did we go too slow? Did we go just right? If you Goldilocks it on yourself and you're feeling good, then we want to maintain. If you went too fast, forgive yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but let's slow it down a little bit. And if you went too slow, then you know that you can push yourself. Let's have a little bit more confidence going into round number 2 and find a little bit of a higher gear, not even a whole gear. So if you were like in second gear, let's go to like gear 2.5. And we're not grinding gears here. There's legitimately a gear 2.5 on your fitness engine, and I want you to find it on this one. So we are looking at 4:15 on the clock, and both of our athletes are still running. I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of our pacing here. If you guys are at home and you're using a machine like a bike because you don't have a runner, you don't have a place to run, then you got that full 2 minutes that I want you to go. We got Hayden finishing up and moving into his second round here at the 4:30 mark. So Hayden's like right on point for what we were looking at. We got Faith doing her walk-run variation, and she is going to be finishing up around the same amount of time as well. So both of our athletes have hit the intended stimulus for this workout, and you hit the intended stimulus by modifying the movements to meet your fitness level. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, when we look at our floor plate or dumbbell press, that's changing the weight that we use so that we can spend roughly a minute to 90 seconds on that movement. When we go to our sit-up, your sit-ups are going to be modifying our volume there. So if you're getting stuck on sit-ups or core work is something that's difficult for you, I want you to think of, rather than doing 30 reps on your sit-ups, we're gonna go for a specific time frame of trying to get a minute of sit-ups in. And so that's the way that you're gonna be able to kind of adjust this workout to fit your needs. And I always want you thinking of your workouts in this fashion. So we wanna always, I say, if your fitness level is here and the workout difficulty is here, we wanna modify the workout so it's right above your fitness level. It's gonna be a challenge for you, but it's something that's always doable. Doing a workout that is way outside of my skill level or my fitness level is not gonna do me any good except make me feel really, really bad about myself and make me feel really, really unfit. We've all had workouts like that, and that's not how we get better. Somebody might argue differently than that. Our camera guy will, because he was trying to speed us up through our warm-up, but I won't. I'm looking out for your best interest. If you hear somebody maniacally laughing in the background, it's Josh, the camera guy, because I foiled his plans once again, keeping everybody fit and healthy while we're warming up and we're working out. We are looking at 6:20 on the clock. Both athletes are keeping a nice measured pace here. Now I got a pop quiz. We're doing sit-ups here in the studio. Where do you breathe out on your sit-up? Going back or going up? Where do you breathe out? That's right, when you sit up. Because like I said earlier, just like when life gets hard, when a movement gets hard, you gotta breathe. You breathe out on the hard part of the movement so that way we can focus on engaging our core. And not only does it engage our core, but it's like our internal governor. So it's that thing they put on U-Hauls so you can't go too fast when you're moving and all you want to do is drive 100 miles an hour. Don't do that because it's not safe. I always have to condone good road safety. But when we're looking at our breathing, we want to pace our movement to our breathing. So when we sit up, we breathe. We try to breathe with each rep. If we get into a workout where we're doing multiple reps on one breath, we are probably racing somebody and trying to finish the workout before them because we're in the last couple seconds of this workout, or we have no idea how to pace on that particular movement. So think about using that breathing as a way to say, am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Because if you find that it's way too easy to breathe with the movement, then chances are we can probably pick the pace up just a little bit. We have 7.5 minutes on the clock. So we are getting close to the halfway mark on this workout. Again, you shouldn't be stressed about 20 minutes on this workout. Looking at it, you see a 20-minute workout, you're like, there's no way that I'm moving for 20 minutes. But with my playful banter and your adequate, above average, amazing fitness level that you've brought today, we are gonna make it through this 20-minute workout, no problem. We have to do workouts like this, some where we go hard and fast and we're done in 5 minutes, others where we go low and slow for 20 to 25 minutes because we're hitting those different metabolic pathways. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got a couple of engines in your body. You got some that work really, really hard and fast when you gotta run away from a saber-toothed tiger, and you got those low and slow ones where you gotta trek across the countryside because you're going hiking or whatever it might be. And we have to test those different engines consistently so that we are well balanced as an athlete. Somebody who's a sprinter may not necessarily be too good at doing a 20 to 30 minute workout and vice versa. So that's what we have today. Don't look at this as a boring workout. Look at this as a chance to improve yourself in another area of your fitness so you become the most well-rounded, jack-of-all-trades athlete that you possibly can be. We have 9 minutes on the clock. We have both of our athletes on the runner. We've got Faith going through her intervals. We got Hayden finishing up, and Hayden is a pacing machine. We just finished with our second round, and he's on that 4.5 minute timing, which is very impressive. I don't know if he did that on purpose or on accident, but he better act like he did it on purpose because that was impressive. With our timings on our intervals for our run, if you find that you started out a little bit too ambitious and you need to change, you can. And there is nothing wrong with walking more than you're running. So if running is something that you're working on trying to build the capacity up on or your volume on, then thinking about walking for 30 seconds and running for 15 seconds is completely fine as well. If we're doing our interval style, then I want you going 2 minutes. I don't want you to worry about going the full 400 there. So you guys can change the stimulus there to meet a time domain versus a work domain so that we can stay in line with our pacing on everything else that we're doing in this workout. We are hitting the halfway mark in 3, 2, 1, and Faith is staying right on that 5 minute track like we had talked about in the beginning. So she is doing a fantastic job as well. We're moving into sit-ups for Hayden, and Hayden is breathing with every rep, and you can see that he's not worried about this pacing. He's keeping it nice and even. If we go back, and I want to say rewind, but I don't know if people know what that means because that's like back in the VHS tape days. But if we take this digital media and go backwards, and we compare his first round to his third round, like he is staying right on track there, which I love. Faith is doing the same thing with these dumbbell floor press. We're making sure that we're breathing out every time that we press. We're breathing out every time that we're breathing out there we go. We're breathing out every time that we press there because your breathing is the most important thing. Arguably, it is the most important thing that you can do to stay alive. I'm not really sure, I don't want to test that fact, but I need you guys to focus on your breathing. Did you burp or laugh? Okay, it's a laugh, good. At least somebody thinks I'm funny. So when we're going through this, I'm telling you guys, if you don't think about your breathing, it gives you something to focus on so that you don't have to focus on how bad you think that workout is that you're currently doing. Because when we get done with workouts, they're not as bad as we thought they were gonna be. But your breathing gives you something to focus on. And like I said, it also helps you stay paced so you can keep moving with whatever our stimulus is in mind. When we get to the point where our breathing starts to get out of control, that's where we have to take a break, recover just for a couple seconds, and then get back into it. So anytime that we're breathing, when we have these downtimes, when we're making our transitions in between our movements, think about taking a couple nice deep recovery breaths. You breathe nice and deep, and the cue that I give is breathe into your waistband, not into your shoulders. If I see you taking a big breath like this, you look like Johnny Bravo and it's not doing anything to help you recover. We got to think about breathing nice and deep and filling those lungs up from the bottom up like you're blowing up a balloon, and then all the way out and back in, and then just keep swimming, just keep fitnessing, because we were at the 12-minute mark and we got 8 minutes left in this workout. Where did those 12 minutes go? I told you this was gonna go fast. We got Faith finishing up on her sit-ups, and we got Hayden, my man, back on the runner, and I'm already gonna make the prediction right now that I think he's gonna get done at 13:30. I could be wrong, I could be right, but I've got faith in Hayden. I hope I'm not putting way too much pressure on him so that he won't show up again. But I think he's got 13:30 on this one. But again, that is just my guess. We are on to the third round for both of our athletes here. Wherever you guys are at home, do not compare yourself to anybody else. This is your fitness journey. It is exclusive to you and only you. And the most important thing about this is that we want you to have fun with it. You need to take some time, especially on these longer workouts, to be a little introspective, take your mind off of how bad the running is or how much you dislike sit-ups, and be grateful that your body is able to do things that it's able to do. So if you're working on modified versions of the actual movements that we're doing, that is great as well. You're making small improvements that over time will equal to big changes. And that's what we have to keep our mind focused on. It's not that we're going slower than somebody else. It's not that we're using a lighter dumbbell than somebody else. It's that we actually get to do this and our body is doing what we're asking of it. So give thanks during those times that you may just want to focus on how heavy you're breathing or how much you're sweating, because we want you to have a good time. We love having you here. Remember why you showed up today, who you're doing this for. If it's for yourself, that is completely fine. If you're doing it for somebody else, that is great. We got Hayden finishing up at 13:40. So I'll give him the 10-second over there because he is working at a little bit of a higher intensity than I'd asked for this workout, but he is staying very, very consistent. We got Faith on her intervals over here, and she's doing a great job of staying on our 5-minute pacing for our round. I'm guessing that Faith will finish around the 15-minute mark. So we'll see what time that she hits there, and she's not allowed to look at the clock. If she looks at the clock, then Hayden's gonna have to do burpees for the rest of the workout. I know, I'm sorry, Hayden, but it's Faith's fault if that happens. I don't have anything, Hayden's just locked in now. He's on these hand release push-ups because I've committed him to 4.5-minute rounds at this point. We are taking a quick rest, and when we're doing push-ups, it's very important that you think about if you need to modify here. We can go down to our knees, even though if you've been in workouts with me before, I really don't like knee push-ups. And the reason is that it trains you to push 2/3 of your body, but as soon as you add those shins back in, it gets hard again. So you're better served by doing an incline push-up on a box or a chair. Just make sure that whatever object that you use allows you to bring those hands to your sides so you're not cramped in. And I also need to make sure it's not gonna move on you. So prop it against the wall, prop it against the column, prop it against the rig, whatever you have. A bar across the rig, if you have one at home, serves very, very well to modify our push-up heights. We got both athletes on round number 4, and Faith hit the 5-minute mark on her round as well. So my athletes are making me so happy. I can shed a tear. This is like their last day of first grade, or I got cats, I don't have kids, but I think that's Peter, that's a milestone, right? Yeah, cool. What's the best milestone? Like, what's the grade that you stopped caring that they graduated from? 3rd grade, yeah, 3rd grade. 3rd grade's never a good time in anybody's life. People are eating Elmer's glue, and like, it's still the age like where people are picking their nose, but I can't get off track. We're back into this workout right now. We got Faith finishing up on her dumbbell floor press, and you've heard me say plate floor press quite a few times. Plate floor press is gonna be the same movement. We just grab a weight plate. If you have access to one, you lay on your back and you're gonna press through. The dumbbell floor press and the plate floor press are fantastic builders that you can use for push-up strength, for bench press strength. If you have shoulder instability issues, it's a great movement to throw in because it braces your shoulder and gives you a place so that you have a tactile cue to keep those shoulders back against the floor. When we're doing our press, we never want to get to a place where we're extending and lifting that shoulder off the floor. The same way that we bench press on a bench, we need to keep those shoulders loaded back. So if you got difficulty with your shoulder awareness or positioning, throw these in for accessory work or as a substitution for a movement that has a lot of pressing and see if that doesn't benefit you. We got Hayden back on the runner. Now, if I can do my math correctly, I was gonna have him finish at the 13.5-minute mark. So that means that we're gonna finish around the 18-minute mark if we are on track. And Hayden doesn't like a challenge that he can't finish, so I have a feeling that he's gonna hit right around that 19-minute mark again. Again, I'm giving him a 10-second, I'll give him a 15-second over, because I gave him a 10-second over last time. He is moving above that pacing time. My girl Faith is gonna be hitting that 20-minute mark, so we should see her finishing her run right when we're calling time. And I will verify via monitor to make sure that we're not just cutting it off early, because we keep everybody fair, everybody honest around here. Because if you've been with us before, I've talked about shopping carts, and you know an honest person if they put their shopping cart back and if they count their reps correctly. So if I ever have to do a job interview, I'm gonna take you to the supermarket and then I'm gonna work out with you. And that determines if you get the job or not. We have 17:50 on the clock. Oh, we're gonna see where Hayden hits. This is gonna be very interesting, and it goes to show that Hayden is in Faith as well. We've got two fantastic athletes in the studio. Man, how are you doing this? It's like a magic trick. He is back on that 4.5 minutes again. But like I was saying, we have two great athletes in class with us today, and being a great athlete is working out well, but it's also knowing your body and being able to pace correctly. And it's not even just knowing how you need to pace a particular movement, it's knowing how to pace when movements are combined to different variations. You could be an all-star at push-ups, But if we throw handstand push-ups or another pressing variation in, you've got to completely change the way that you approach that movement, and good athletes will know how to do that. I will tell you, a great athlete consists of 3 things. It's working out well and knowing your body, how you can move. It's being able to pace, and it's also being able to recover. So all that breathing stuff that I talked about earlier, that's important to being a good athlete as well. Because you can't be an athlete unless you breathe. So just remember that. Put that on a shirt. We got Hayden going through this last set, and he thought he was only doing 4 rounds, but he is on to round number 5 here. We got Faith on the runner, and that runner sounds like it's going a little faster because I think that somebody's trying to start their 5th round, because I think it's gonna be like, well, I got the 5th round too. So we're gonna see what happens. She is not looking at the clock. She's going through her rounds like we have in the last couple, and she's doing a great job of staying consistent. And that goes to another point to say that if you're modifying a workout away from what was RX, don't get caught up if somebody else is doing RX right next to you. Your workout is your workout, and it is making you better. You do not get better by doing somebody else's workout. So focus on what you set out with. And if we feel like we started out too easy, then you can always increase through there, but only because you feel like it. And Faith is done as well. She picked that pace up. We got done. We've got 5 seconds, and 3, 2, 1, rest. I told you 20 minutes was gonna go by super fast. I'm amazed that I can always talk for this amount of time as well. But athletes, great job. Hayden, you crushed it. Faith crushed it as well. Our athletes here did a great job of pacing their rounds. Throw in the comments below the pacings or averages that you were keeping on your rounds. And I would like you to tell us what was your favorite part of this workout and what was your least favorite part of this workout. If you say I'm the least favorite, that's too cruel. You can't do that. But thank you again, athletes. You did a great job. Stick around. You got your cool down coming up next. Athletes, the 20 minutes wasn't that bad. You all did fantastic. So thank you so much for showing up. We had a great time working out with you, as we always do. Now, if this is your first time with us, I gotta ask you to come back. We loved having you. And right now, we've got a limited time offer that you can get a free month of Mayhem Athlete programming using the code ATHOME to start your fitness journey. We've got a wide variety of tracks, whether your goals are functional fitness, bodybuilding, workouts on the road, workouts at home, workouts anywhere that you can move your body, Mayhem Athlete's got your back. Mayhem Athlete is a group of like-minded athletes, and I always say this, that if you just worked out with us, you are an athlete. I don't want any excuses, because you are officially an athlete doing this workout with us. And that like-minded group of athletes will encourage you along the way to your goals, whether you just want to be a little bit fitter, move a little bit better, tackle the things that life throws your way every day, or make it all the way to the competition floor. So join us today. We will always have a great time with you. Now, we got the cool down here. I'm not getting serious because I get too serious about this all the time, but I'm just gonna tell you, I won't be mad. I'll just be disappointed if you don't stick around and do this cool down, because your body just took care of you. So take care of your body. And as always, be good, be kind, and join us again for another great day of fitness.